What is up guys, Stark here, back for day 19 of the 25 Days of Fate, and in today's video we are doing another character spotlight, and this one will be for Houzouin Inshun. Now he is going to be a 3-star character that is out in the Shimosa banner as well, and honestly speaking this guy is quite good, in my opinion at least for a 3-star servant anyway. He is a 3-star Lancer and he will go up to 70, and at level 70 he will have 9,996 HP and 6,791 attack. This will rank him 143rd in HP and 161st in attack. His stats seem really low, but he more than makes up for it in his skills and his Noble Phantasm. His star absorption is 90, his star generation is 12.2%, and his Noble Phantasm generation on his attack is going to be 1.06%, which is crazy, and his defense is going to be 4%. So like I said, this guy looks pretty weak in general just by his base stats because he's a 3-star, but he's got a really good kit of skills and a really powerful Noble Phantasm as well. So he more than makes up for it, but let's go ahead and talk about his skills real fast. His first one is going to be the Knowledge of the Soa Bee. This will apply Sure Hit to himself for 3 turns, as well as increasing his critical star drop rate for 3 turns. So you're going to get a 30% increase to your star drop rate here for 3 turns, which is really nice on a 5-turn cooldown, which is even better. And you also get Sure Hit as well. So you're going to make sure your attacks hit for 3 turns, and you're going to maximize, all your buffs that you're going to get in those 3 turns to do some really serious damage with this character. His second skill is going to be the Seeking the Truth of Martial Arts Bee. This will increase his quick card effectiveness for 1 turn, but it will also increase his mental debuff resistance by 100% for 3 turns. So he's not going to be getting any mental debuffs, which is nice. And he gets a whopping 50% increase to his quick card effectiveness for 1 turn on a 5-turn charge time. So this one's a little bit worse as far as cooldowns go because, you're only going to get that 1 turn of burst, but it's a 50% increase. So you're just going to use it when you have, the best opportunity to strike. And then finally, he has the Planning Ahead B+. This will apply Noble Phantasm Seal for 1 turn to 1 enemy. This will also decrease the defense of that enemy for 3 turns. So this will be a 20% decrease at level 10 on a 6-turn charge time, which isn't too bad at all considering you get to seal the enemy's Noble Phantasm. And that is going to be really huge, being able to keep yourself alive. And he combos it in really well with his Noble Phantasm, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but it's going to be really cool. You're going to do some pretty cool combos with it. As for his passives, he only does have the one, and that is the Magic Resistance D+, which will increase his debuff resistance by 13%. So all in all, I do think he has a really good set of skills, but he definitely shines more in his Noble Phantasm. So overall though, for his overall skill set, I will give him 4 stars. I do think it is quite a good set of skills. If his Noble Phantasm was part of his skill set, you know what? I don't even think that's true. So I'm not even going to talk about it until we get to his Noble Phantasm. I was going to say if his Noble Phantasm is one of his skills, he'd get a higher ranking. But after thinking about it, as I was saying it, I don't actually think that's true. And we'll see here in just a second why I think that. As for his command card deck, he has 3 quick, 1 arts, 1 buster, and the hit counts are going to be 3 on the quick, 2 on the arts, 2 on the buster, 4 on his extra attack, and 0 on his Noble Phantasm. His Noble Phantasm does not do damage. So he's got a good command card deck. He has some decent hit counts with his really high Noble Phantasm generation, so he will be able to generate the Noble Phantasm really quickly, as well as getting a pretty decent amount of stars. So yeah, as for his Noble Phantasm, like I said, it doesn't do any damage, and it will increase his attack for 3 turns, between 30 and 50%, also increase your critical strength by 100% for 3 turns, apply death immunity to yourself for 1 turn, apply evasion to yourself for 1 attack, and on the overcharge effect, this will increase your critical star drop rate for 3 turns. So there is a ton of effects, comboed into this Noble Phantasm. And like I said, his Noble Phantasm is pretty easy to get, so you can spam it pretty much. I'd be willing to say that you could probably keep his Noble Phantasm active the entire fight once you get it off the first time. Having 3 turns to charge it back up should be pretty easy, and you're going to get a lot of different buffs out of this as well. And the cool thing about this is that you can actually apply evasion to yourself, so you can use this to dodge enemy Noble Phantasms. Now I know it's only 1 time instead of like 1 turn. If it was 1 turn, this skill would just be absolutely busted, honestly speaking. But you can chain it to Noble Phantasms, and as long as they don't ignore evasion, you can use it to keep yourself alive. It is a little bit tricky though, you have to plan it out, but you could also combo it in with your third skill. This is what I was talking about previously. So if your Noble Phantasm's not ready and they're going to use their Noble Phantasm, the enemy is anyway, you could use his third skill to stun them from using their Noble Phantasm, and that gives you one extra turn to charge up your Noble Phantasm of yourself, use it, and then evade the attack on the enemy's Noble Phantasm on the following turn, and you're good to go. So that is definitely a good way of comboing the third skill with his Noble Phantasm. And I was also saying if this was a skill, it would be better for his overall skill set, but like I said, I don't think that's actually true, because you could probably use the evasion more often as a Noble Phantasm than you could if it was a skill. Because if you think about it, like if this was one of his skills, it definitely wouldn't have a 5-turn charge time, that's for sure. It'd probably have like a 7-turn charge time. This skill is busted, and you could charge his Noble Phantasm pretty quickly. So, you know, if you're getting like Brave Chains and stuff, you can almost knock out half his Noble Phantasm gauge in 1 turn. And so you think about it, it's probably a 2 to 3 turn wait between using your Noble Phantasm. So that's probably lower than pretty much any skill of this magnitude would get. So it definitely works better as a Noble Phantasm. And yeah, you know, obviously it's just a selfish personal buff, but it is a huge buff, and this will let him do a ton of damage. It makes up for his low base stats for sure. So overall for damage, I will also give him 4 stars. This is primarily due to the fact that he has low base stats as a 3-star. If he was a 4-star or a 5-star character, this could probably easily get pushed into the 5-star territory, just because of the fact that he has, you know, higher natural attack stats. But even as a 3-star, this guy can do some really good damage, so you know, don't be shying away from him if you do have him on your team. His critical ability will also see him get 4 stars. Having his Noble Phantasm tied to crit strength increase for 100% for 3 turns is going to be huge. Essentially, you can keep his crit strength buff up the entire fight, as well as the drop rate increase. So that's going to be huge. You also do have, you know, his first skill for the increase to the star drop rate. The only complaint I have there is that I wish it would also increase, like, if his first skill increased his actual gather rate instead of his drop rate, and then his Noble Phantasm kept the drop rate, then you could drop the stars, absorb the stars, and do extra damage. This guy would just be like a complete powerhouse. But, you know, that's not what it is. You still do get a better increase to your overall star drop rate with his skills. So that's always nice. And he does have pretty decent absorption. It's 90, not the best, but it's definitely not the worst either. So, you know, there's definitely that. But if you can get this guy stars, bring in someone to increase his absorption rate, this guy's going to be dishing out tons of damage. As for his Noble Phantasm, I am going to give it 4.5 stars. It doesn't do any damage, so that's kind of unfortunate there. But outside of that, it just says so much that I really couldn't give it too much lower than this. You could gain your Noble Phantasm pretty easily. The buffs are outstanding. It has evasion in it as well, so you get attack and defense with it. The only reason why I really don't give it a 5-star is because he doesn't have any hard increase to his Noble Phantasm gauge, so like he can't actually increase his gauge outside of attacking. But that's it. Like, that's really the only drawback, and the fact it doesn't do damage. But this thing is easy to get off. Once you get it out the first time, you can keep it going for the entire fight pretty much all the time. So anything like that and the effects it gives, it just 4.5 stars. Yeah, definitely. For his survivability, I am only going to give him 3 stars in this, and you know, mainly due to the fact that he has low HP as a 3-star character. The fact that his evasion is tied to his Noble Phantasm is actually helpful for him, and maybe he sees himself getting a couple extra points because of that. But at the same time, it only is for 1 time instead of 1 turn, and you know, you do still have to charge up your Noble Phantasm, so you can see yourself in situations where you're gonna die before you get your Noble Phantasm charged up a second time, because he doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have any like hard defense increase or invincibility or healing or guts or anything like that. You just get that 1 attack evasion and that's it. So you definitely need to bring in someone to help keep this guy alive. He is a pretty big glass cannon there, so bring in someone for defense, and then this guy's going to be really good as well, because you have so many attack buffs on this guy. If you can get in defense buffs with him, this guy is going to go crazy. For his versatility, he is also going to get 3 stars here. I mean, he's a selfish servant. He doesn't really do anything for the team. The only benefit he has for like support is the Noble Phantasm Seal and the decrease to the defense. That's going to be really nice. But this guy is going to be your damage dealer, so you're going to bring in support around him to help. And that's really cool. You know, it's going to be able to do some really good damage and stuff like that. But he's not supporting the team at all, so he doesn't have too many options. You definitely want to factor him into like quick teams and just focus on making him your damage dealer, and you should be okay. But yeah, 3 stars overall for that. So overall, that will give him a 3.8 out of 5. I think he is a fantastic servant, and if you do grail this guy up, his rating will go up really high, because then, you know, his base stats go up, his HP goes up, his attack goes up, and then he's really a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, if you want to go for that, that would probably be a pretty good idea if you like the character. He does play really well. Honestly, I feel like Fate thinks about their character designs for 3 stars a little bit more than some of the 4-star characters and 5-star characters they bring out. Because this guy feels like he has a very good blend of skills with his Noble Phantasm. I think his kit is it works very well together. It has great flow in it. And some characters just don't have that. It feels like they just have a bunch of different effects in their pool altogether. Although there definitely are some flaws with this character, as with every other character. And a few things I would definitely like to change on this character to make him a lot better. But, you know, that's just nitpicking at this point. No character is going to be perfect. And if they were, then they'd probably be too strong to release into the game anyway. But as it stands, you know, 3-star character getting a 3.8 is actually quite impressive, honestly. So this character's good. It gets my seal of approval. I really want to play him and use him. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you did like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I have the links below to my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. So feel free to check those out, as well as the 25 Days of Fate Christmas giveaway I am running on my channel. All you have to do to enter that is click the link in the video at the end of this to go to the video page and comment on that video. Subscribe to my channel for your chance to win a $100 gift card to Google Play or iTunes. Also, check out the stream video that will be linked at the end as well for details on the stream, when I'm going to be doing it, and all that stuff. You don't want to miss out on that. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you here with Inshun's Noble Phantasm, and I will see you tomorrow.
これぞ槍の究極。心裏付き。参る。